Today we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We do. Even on this glorious day that we just had, we do. Watch the news, hear the whispers of growing threats. Listen to your neighbors speak about their fears for themselves or fears for our world. Hear shifts in what we once called civil discourse. Study the forecasts for world peace as storms gather and new threats encroach borders. Watch as candles are lit and wreaths placed in places where the unspeakable occurred. Today, the familiarity, poetry, and beauty of the 23rd Psalm have a different tone. The shadow is dark, and the valley is long and deep. I will not mislead you by softening or denying that reality. I won't let platitudes and sentimentalities echo off the valley's walls. That doesn't help anyone. The valley is real, and the shadow is here. Yes, the shadow of death is our reality today. There is another reality, a greater reality, upon which we can fix our gaze without denying the shadows that lurk like robbers of the soul. Whatever that pall is that lingers and follows us, we will need to put forward some effort to shift our focus, because fear is a riveter. What is the one thing that is necessary for a shadow to exist? Light. There can be no shadow without light. The darker the shadow, the brighter the light. The stronger the light, the deeper the shadow in contrast. Even when we don't see it clearly, the light accompanies us through the valley. It is what has sharpened our awareness of the shadow. It is already a present reality. The light does not undo what has happened or magically make everything better. From the book of John, chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all humankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So you see, the light has been with us from the beginning. It's trustworthy, it never fades. There's no shadow that can overcome or extinguish it until that day comes when the light pierces the shadow, and it will. Our challenge, our hope, and our way forward is to put one foot in front of the other. And of course, that is easier said than done. Sometimes it takes all we have just to take that next step. And that's why we must stay close, we must walk together, and continually remind ourselves and one another that a shadow cannot exist apart from the light. And if our hearts are heavy, our way through the valley of the shadow of death is found in following and putting one faith foot in front of the other, one step at a time, led by the Spirit. The light is always shining behind the shadow, not the other way around. The light leads us down that lush valley, and Psalm 23 says, we will be met there with a banquet. From Psalm 23. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of darkness, and my cup overflows. Keith knew well-seasoned, tried and true ways to live a good life despite hardship. Simple pleasures, keeping his eyes riveted on the good before him, living life by treasuring what he already had, seeing, really seeing nature in all her glory, and then going out and playing and working in the land that God had provided. And doing both work and play together with others. He would say to anyone with ears to listen, look what we got here, isn't it great? And then he would add, God has been so good to us. Now this orientation is a life skill gleaned from focusing on the light rather than the shadows, and there were many shadows in Keith's life. But he lived in gratitude and an awareness of the source of blessing. Any Sunday when the family gathered, the smell of roast beef would fill the farmhouse. As his grandkids would arrive, he would crook his finger in a little conspiratorial manner, directing them to the kitchen, but only when Grandma was not to be seen. He would pull out a fork he had concealed in his pocket, open the oven door, and take a stab at the flank, only to pull out a tasty morsel. And he'd blow on it, and then pop it into his grandchild's mouth. Shh, don't tell Grandma. Of course, he knew that Grandma knew, and the grandkids knew that Grandma knew, and that he knew. Everybody knew he was just too excited to wait. All day, every day, from your first breath to your very last, Jesus is crooking his finger saying, come here, I have something for you that will sustain you. Taste and see that the Lord is good. See this lovely person next to you? See this great job you get to do? See this family, this home, this valley, this church that I gave you? God stands in the midst of our every moment with more than a forkful of blessing for you every day. Every blessing, a nibble. Every forkful of the good, a foretaste of the feast to come. Surely, goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life.